Hey there peeps, hey there film fans, it is Lucas here from Rebellious Noise Screen 1, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and feelings, my review that is, of the latest Disney film release, of course, that is Cruella. Just to note, this video will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen the film, then please feel free to go and do so, and check back this review once you have. So this film is basically the Maleficent to the 101 Dalmatians universe, I guess. And obviously it's based on the 101 Dalmatians features that have happened, animated features back in the 60s, followed by the live action features, which I think most people know of, starring Glenn Close as the villainess character, of course, that is Cruella de Vil. Now, this obviously is its own separate thing. So I will say you don't have to have seen either of the animated or the live action features before to enjoy or see this film, but it will help as they set up quite a fair bit to go. We start by seeing a young Estella, as she was named by her mother, going to school, growing up and being very mischievous. And in this, that's where we learn that her mother calls her Cruella when she's in this kind of mode, so to speak, of, you know, causing trouble, causing mayhem. She gets expelled from school, and we are then transported to a mansion where Estella's mother meets up with a then unknown character to us at this party, this big kind of gala event that's going on, and her mother is tragically killed, you know, by a Dalmatian. Estella witnesses this, and she was meant to stay in the car, but she obviously doesn't, because no kids have ever listened to their parents in movies for as long as movies have existed. And that kind of sets the chain in motion, you know, for the movie to happen. We then flash forward to Estella ending up in London in the 1960s and meeting up with who would become her kind of running mates for this film, Jasper and Horace. We flash forward a few years, and the young Estella is now a grown-up Estella. She dyes her hair, because her hair, by the way, she has the half and half hair that Cruella has as a kid. She dyes her hair so she won't get kind of found out, and she feels responsible for the death of her mother, and she's grieving that. And that's where I can take my first pause to say that this is one of the first kind of things in this movie that's a bit, you know, where it's very un-Disney, this. And so what we have here is the fact that the film obviously is a 12A or a PG-13 if you're an American viewer of ours, where it is quite deep, and to younger kids, you know, it's not really going to be a film for them to watch, but for, you know, teenagers and obviously parents, it is quite a kind of, you know, quite a strong film for those reasons. The film deals with London in the 70s, and I always like seeing London on film, but I particularly like seeing historical London on film. And obviously here it's given amazing set pieces and amazing kind of cinematography as we show London in all its glory, without the kind of big skyscrapers that it's now known for. And, you know, we feature iconic locations, you know, in this, such as Liberty's department store. And this is where the movie kind of really kick-starts, which is where Emma Stone, obviously playing Cruella, she meets the character played by Emma Thompson, the Baroness, who is a fashion designer, and is what really kick-starts the movie from then. So we soon find out that the Baroness was the reason why Cruella's mother died, and that kick-starts the movie. So I'm not going to give too many more spoilers from here, but we'll say that from here what we're getting is we're getting a kind of mix of Maleficent meets Devil Wears Prada meets Ocean's 8, as there is a lot of heist features in this film, which again is very un-Disney-like. So what we get here is we get a film where we get a kind of mix of genres, and some of it works, some of it doesn't. You know, I think the supporting cast do help the heists along, but they're not exactly very creative, I don't think. But they're shot quite well, and they perform quite well, so we allow that kind of side of things to happen. And, you know, it gets to the point where, you know, with this, it's a very performance-driven film, you know, with those two very strong lead actresses and some good supporting performances. But the plot kind of hops all over the kind of place a bit, I think. And they do introduce characters quite late onto the film that end up kind of becoming important, but you're not always too sure kind of, you know, how you're meant to feel about these characters. And that's the other main problem with this film. The fact is, it is obviously a backstory on a character who we know goes on and skins dogs alive, basically, to make a jacket, make a coat. And so it's kind of weird seeing us having to cheer, you know, for and support, you know, Cruella, when we know that's what she becomes. But we only do that because the Baroness, as played by Emma Thompson, is done so beautifully. And, you know, she has this very good delivery, you know, of all her kind of lines, Emma Thompson, in this. And I guess she has taken that inspiration from Meryl Streep and Devil Wears Prada to become that kind of just that boss that is just so irritating, so extra, so pinicky. But yeah, the other good thing to say in this is not just the soundtrack, which must have cost them a bloody fortune, because every single song basically from the 70s is on this film at some point. But also the costumes and set design. I guess they've taken a course in the Tim Burton film course a bit, as they've really kind of gothed it all up a bit, you know, and jazzed it all up a bit. And there's some really nice costumes in this. And it'd be interesting, obviously, the Oscars one now, whether this film would obviously be in contention for it, as obviously I think both the main characters have at least 100 outfit changes, it seems. You know, it leads to some nice kind of stuff. They obviously, you know, with it being a prequel, they have to obviously foreshadow a lot of the stuff that's going to come later on. So with obviously Cruella, she sees a car she likes, and it's called the Deville, and that's how, you know, she gets her surname. You know, and we're also introduced to characters that end up, you know, Anita, for instance, that ends up being the main character in 101 Dalmatians. So we see, you know, hints of that, and sometimes it's like, oh, do we need to know that kind of stuff? I didn't really care. Sometimes it's okay, though. It's nice little Easter egg and touches. I think that's kind of what Disney were going for with this. So, all in all, you know, to give my kind of final thoughts on this then, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. There were some down points in it, like also I think it is a tad too long. You know, but that's obviously what you get when you spend that much money on a movie. Disney, by the way, have estimated this film to cost between $100 and $150 million. But I won't be surprised if obviously that figure does kind of get inflated when you consider the massive marketing that this film has had going for it. It's absolutely everywhere advertised here in the United Kingdom. And it's interesting as well because it is obviously released on Disney Plus to stream via Premier Access, as well as being released in cinemas. So it's interesting kind of see how it kind of goes. As it doesn't seem, to be fair, that the American audience are caring too much about that, as they are still flocking to go and see it in the cinemas. So look, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I think there's definitely a lot of setup here for a sequel, which we most likely will get, as again, this is Disney. And I'm also looking forward to seeing if they were to do one, which direction they go into. As bear in mind, Emma Stone, you know, she's only 30-something, so she could obviously potentially do a couple of these sequels for it to be still kind of be realistic for her to be a young Cruella in this. Supporting cast is good. Overall, I think it is a must-see, especially because it's a big budget film in the cinema. But you know, because it's the first review and I've got to set kind of some kind of standards here, we're on a 5-star system, by the way, I'm going to award it 3.5 stars. Yeah, 3.5 stars, I'm happy with that. So yeah, look, that's my thoughts, of course, and you know, I hope I've given some sort of oversight into this film and what worked and what didn't work. I'm interested where they go next, but please let us know your thoughts as always, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really, really means a lot to this channel. Until next time, I've been Lucas. See you later.